Hey everybody, how are you? It's Peter again for MLB Trade Rumors and Discussions. It's Wednesday, January 29, 2020. Keeping this going every single day for the rest of the year, just like I promised you guys. Today I'm going to talk about two big things, and it's really not going to be about the Diamondbacks because you guys know I talk about them all the time, but I really want to get into something else today. One's going to be quickly about Kris Bryant, and two is going to be about how contracts, big, massive contracts, ruin this game of baseball, okay? First thing is Kris Bryant. I'll make it very quick. He lost today against the Cubs. He was hoping he gained 1 year so he becomes a free agent, and he clearly didn't. You knew that was going to happen because the Cubs, this just goes to show you how this game is a business, right? You keep forgetting, no matter how great the player is, no matter what somebody did for you, you could hit 100 home runs in 1 year. It doesn't matter, okay? This is a business. No player is bigger than the game. Did what the Cubs do is messed up? Yeah, I think so, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen in this game. You don't know if you're going to get injured, how you're going to perform, and it's messed up. Because what happens if Kris Bryant now puts up a good year, but he starts getting hurt, and he's going to get screwed. He screws himself over, right? You don't know what's going to happen. So you really, as a baseball player, you work so hard to get these things, and Kris Bryant's a really good ball player, so you're hoping they get what they deserve. But on the other hand, you talk about these massive contracts and they ruin the game of baseball. They kind of ruin a lot of things, but especially baseball, because let's talk about the Diamondbacks for a second in my case. We don't have massive contracts, right? Small contracts here because obviously we don't have a crap load of money to spend, but he really has to be strategic with how he does it. But when you start giving out these ridiculous contracts, and what I'm going to talk about right now is Mookie Betts. The rumor was that they couldn't get on the same page in money, and they offered him $300 million. He countered with $420 million. Whether that's correct or not, I kind of probably believe it is. That is an insane amount of money, right? And I get it. He is an MVP type player. He is a wonderful player. However, that is insane. When you put all that money into a player, then what happens, right? How do you get the rest of your team unless you got a crap load of money, right? Eventually you're going to get screwed. And it messes up a lot of other teams who, these guys are usually going to these teams who can afford this. And it sucks. It just sucks because making $420 million for anybody is just ridiculous. Let's take a look at Bryce Harper, okay? Look what happened when he wanted all that money, all right? The best thing that ever happened for Washington is that man took the money from Philadelphia. He's overrated. He's just okay, right? He causes so much attention, and he's not that great of a hitter. So Washington was better for it in so many ways, and they're now champions. It's just, let's take one more look at a guy like Mike Trout. Is he great? Yeah, he is. Statistically, he's great all around. Is he a winner? No, he's not. Because how can you do that? They would be better off just one player does not win this, okay? It doesn't matter what Trout does. He can bat .390 with 75 home runs. And who cares? People will pitch around you, do everything. It doesn't matter. It just messes up the game of baseball. And that's why Mookie Betts, not sure where he's going. But it's just I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not. I'm a big fan of these players getting what they deserve. But nobody deserves $42 million a year. Nobody. Okay? That's insane, right? It's just incredible what they want. So look at the Diamondbacks would have got. That's why they couldn't get Mookie Betts, right? Yeah, they maybe would have been able to get him this year. But are they really going to sign him? And they have the money coming up in a couple of years. But what the hell are we going to do if he took a third of our payroll? It's just crazy. And look at Marte. He's probably going to put up a little less numbers than him, but for $30 million less if he was to get something what Mookie wants. It's crazy. It's crazy what these players want, and it's just not good. Washington they had look at Soto, Rendon, right? They couldn't, honestly, it's messed up. They couldn't keep Rendon because they needed him. He was a really good ball player. But did they win it for him? No, everybody won it. The pitchers, Howie Kendrick was a guy that don't make a lot of money, that played amazing. Adam Eaton played terrific. Like guys who you need to build a team. Boston a few years ago when they won, right? Yeah, Mookie was great, but they were able to have different players. JD was a big thing, but JD wasn't a crap load of money. Okay? Even JD was trying to offer Arizona less money so he can stay there. It's you gotta understand when owners do this. Look at the Yankees a long time ago, and this is why I hated the Yankees. When they spent all this money after 2001, after the Diamondbacks beat them, they went on a rampage of spending money because all their guys were getting older, and they figured, let's buy it. Guys like Giambi, right? Let's see what that's gonna do. What did it do for them? They couldn't win. They could not win. They lost to the Marlins because guys like Josh Beckett, who was dominant at that time and a young stud. It doesn't matter. Miguel Cabrera. It doesn't matter. When you spend this amount of money, it is very, very difficult to win. When the Giants won their 3 championships, they weren't wrapped into a ton of money. They were winning with guys like you would never expect. When Lopez would come in from the left side, Romo from the right side, guys that weren't like this amazing players. Right? It's just Bumgarner at that time was young, so they weren't spending this absurd amount of money, and then all the pressure's on that player, and then people are pitching around. Look, same thing for Goldschmidt last year, a couple years ago, right? It didn't matter. We did better one year without Goldschmidt than we had with him. So why would we spend all this money? Look at Greinke. We got Greinke and we needed Greinke, right? We needed an ace. So Kendrick decided to drop $30-something million on this guy. And did he pitch well? Yeah. Did he pitch up to his price? Hell no. Hell freaking no. How can you pitch up to a $30-something million thing? How can you do that? So what were the Diamondbacks? They were in trouble for a while because they had a lot of money wrapped up in him. So it took a while. And then if it don't work, who's going to take his contract? Then it's very difficult to find somebody to take on if that don't win. Giancarlo Stanton, the Yankees, it's not working out. The guy's always injured. It doesn't make sense. The Marlins, when they put all that money into these players, they had to get rid of them so fast. It doesn't work. It rarely works. Give me some times that it works, and I'll tell you, yeah, once in a while, maybe. Right? And that's because the team was built around it. But if you're going to go into a season and you're going to spend all this money on these players and then not able to fix anything else, you're expecting to lose. And then that's why the rebuild happens. Because now you have to unload this big contract, get prospects back, chip in for some money, find a team to get it. Well, if a team's going to take the money, they're not going to give you the prospects, and it just sucks. Right? And now who suffers for it? The organization and mainly the fans. The fans suffer because now they got to go through 2 or 3, maybe more years of just like, But no, what is Hazen doing? He's building teams. He's building small guys here or there. He got 6 guys for the price of $30 million that only one player was making more, and that was Greinke. But he got 6 of them. He got a Bumgarner who's better than him. And on top of that, he got 5 more. That is what Hazen did, and that's why big contracts ruin the game. That's why I can't stand LA. I have no sympathy for them. Well, not one, that they're arrogant as hell, but 2, like, you're not going to win when you spend all this damn money, right? You're going to spend all this money. You're going to try to get Mookie Betts, or you're going to spend all that. You're probably going to extend him for 40-something million and give him what he wants, especially if you can't win the division this year. If the Diamondbacks win the division, you watch what LA has to spend after that. That's why they're rushing. Can they get Lindor? Can they get Betts? That's what's happening here. That teams, and then the small market teams, that kind of suffer for that. And then you sit there and how many times as a fan, if you're a fan of a team that's not the biggest market, and then you hear, let's say Arenado's a free agent, you know damn well you rarely have a chance for that. You know damn well you have. You know it's always the main teams. And it sucks because there should be a certain rule to just the way it goes. Anybody making 40-something million is insane. I don't care. I just heard about Mookie Betts, and I was talking to you guys about how I would love Mookie Betts and the Diamondbacks. But if that guy's asking for 40-something million a year, and is he a great player? Oh, he's phenomenal. But ain't nobody worth that. That's the truth. And that's just my opinion. Real quick, the Diamondbacks made a move today, and I know nobody's going to even pay attention to this, probably just the Diamondback fans. But they signed John Hicks, and I know nobody's really looking at that. But I'm telling you, that guy, look, a couple years ago, batted .260 in Detroit. He's actually not as bad as you think, and it's a smart move, just going back to what I said. in case Carson Kelly gets hurt or Vogt. He's one of those guys who plays hard, and it's just a veteran as a catcher who can really do a little bit well. He's been here for about 4 or 5 years. I like the move. I like Hazen, who they have depth in the catcher spots. He likes to do that, and it's a smart move. It's a very smart move. They did that a couple years ago when they signed the Yankee catcher. So I kind of like it. I think it's one of the moves you never even look at until if he comes up in the middle of the season and you're like, oh, who's this guy? He's doing really well. Because he batted .260 in Detroit. Another one of those things where Detroit, you don't pay attention to the ballpark, but then he'll go to Arizona. Almost like James McCann, right? When he's in Detroit, you really didn't pay attention to much, but then he went to Chicago and he became a better hitter. So it's just one of those things. Just look out for that move if it ever happens that Carson Kelly or Vogt gets hurt. I'm interested to see how that goes. But I want you guys to tell me what you think about if these big contracts are ruining the game of baseball, because I think it is. Anyway, there's not much else news going on today, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.